In my experience, I discovered that love fully and deeply, at the same time I need to let my heart break. So,
can you, thank you.
When I love fully and deeply, at the same time I need to let my heart break. So,
yes.
One doesn't go without the other, and it hurts always, but it's bearable and it's sweet. And when I forget to let my heart break, or it's not a doing in the mind, but just not remembering, it started to hurt more.
Yes.
When my heart is not breaking, and and I thank you for reminding me again to let my heart break right in this moment, and in the moment before, and the next moment. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very significant part as well. That willingness to let the heart break open. It sounds like a cliche, but it's so bloody literal. It's really like the whole setup here is meant to break our hearts. How are we then blaming each other for hurting or breaking each other in that sense? Because we are meant to break open. We are meant to open ourselves to love and not to close up again, but to keep on standing wide open, simply. We are meant to commit ourselves fully, to let those limitations, those edges be passed and passed and passed. And we do prize ourselves on living a life with the individuality which we, in a way, say to be colored by our limitations rather than our true beings. Yeah. But there is so much more waiting for us. There's a growing beyond all of these games of self-protection and trying to keep it together. Gosh, it's a bloody playground, this. It's not supposed to be like moving around on survival. It's just not. But the gift of that expanse and of living the true nature of our surrender, it's not at all available to us as long as we're denying our own state of being. Something completely new and completely different awaits. And I must say, it's a lot more fun than the other version. Yeah. You know, our honesty is everything. Our honesty with ourselves is everything. And it's not just equal to it's not just equal to being honest in the sense of moving on what we find to be right, or sticking with that whole right and wrong thing. There's something much deeper awaiting, and it requires our investigations. It requires our willingness to feel. Like, really, I cannot say this enough. And that willingness to feel, we are so scared of it. We are so scared of it. Because it's a threat. It's a threat to that identity and that control. So we can either live our lives based in this idea of free will, or we can surrender and let life live ours. And it's not going to be the way you think, because to say it straight, you can't even imagine what life has in store for you if you stop hanging on. Is it scary sometimes? Yes. Is it painful sometimes? Yes. Is it hot? Yes. Is it filled to the brim with passion? Yes. Is it not a moment wasted? Yes. Is it meeting your highest potential and your deepest? Yes. Can you imagine being can you imagine if the most ordinary version of you was also the most brilliant version of you? What if those two ends meet? What if there isn't spiritual and conventional? What if there is only you, truth, being, love, and your humanity, all in one embrace? Your vulnerability and your divinity in one. Your emptiness and your fullness in one. Pure intelligence, truth in form. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. Oh shit. Wait, we have until 1, right? We have until 1? Okay, good. Mm-hmm. Can we have the microphone that way? Yeah.
Can I ask? You just were talking about it and almost answer my question.
Can you take your thing off?
Yeah. The fear is so deep to be real and open and be myself. It's not mental, it's on the body level. And I have a glimpse of be real and be myself and fully expressed when I am, sometimes it's without any psychedelics, but mostly it's with help of ayahuasca or something else, when I'm completely, I can drop and completely relax and be myself. But in life, without any help, it feels like I have layers and layers and layers of protection. And I don't know how to shed them off. It's not mental. I understand what you're saying, but on a body level, it's not happening.
You need to take full responsibility for the fear in you. Because fear is the reaction that you are having when you meet truth. And rather than being honest about the fear and allowing yourself compassion to be afraid, to stay present with yourself even when you're afraid. There's no way that truth can take you there. All of these twists around the fact of the bare-boned being. The moment you meet it, you get afraid, you look away. Your vision gets blurred. You can see it when you look at me. And that's the same as not wanting reality, And that means that you need to meet that in you, which is in that resistance. And there is a feeling at the bottom of that. The feeling is fear. So arriving as love right there equals to being compassionate with being afraid and allowing the death that happens around that contraction, which is the someone fearful. When that gives in, there is life. There is the core. There is reality. But shedding the layers, you can work forever on this self-improvement business. If you don't change your relationship with the core of it all, if you don't change your relationship with the truth, you'll just be moving boxes around. I understand that it scares you because it reduces you to nothing. But you have to be nothing for life to be fully the case. You have to acknowledge the reality of nothing also for that life which happens and arises and becomes the wholeness of the human being, not to be deeply identified within the body identification. So no matter how much we can talk about embracing and all of this, it needs to go hand in hand also with an honest meeting with that core of silence. And that's not about a head and a body, because it's you have to experience yourself as that silence through your entire being. You have to be willing to surrender this form to that silence, just as much as you have to be willing to surrender that form to life and the movement. But life and death, they're like this. You can't just say one without the other. Or in case you do, I can guarantee you it will be deeply distorted down the road.